about the gift that God has given you, what have you done with it? What have you done with it? Have you been seeking to master what God has given you? Or are you just burying that thing? Amen?
Amen.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's scoot on down to it, on down to page 41 in the middle. It says, "It is amazing to me how often we forget this. So many people blame their refusal to get out of the boat on some eternal circumstance. I would develop my gifts more thoroughly, but I have a boss who stifles my initiative. I would pursue another job, but I need the money, the security, the familiarity of this one. I would grow in my capacity for intimacy, but my spouse isn't interested." Men, we need to really pick up that about the intimacy, because the women might, y'all should be saying amen to that. I want him to be more intimate, but we do. We use excuses. I wasn't intimate. My dad wasn't intimate, so that's our excuse we use as men. I don't know if y'all know that.
That's what they use. I heard.
Those are our excuses we use. I don't know what to do because I really don't know what intimacy means. But that's all right. We're gonna keep going. I would devote myself more fully to spiritual growth, but I can't find the time. I can't find the time for spiritual growth. I would have realized more of my potential, but no one was ever interested in mentoring me. No one ever wanted to be. I just needed a mentor, but no one wanted to mentor me. We played what Susan Jeffers calls the win-then game. When I feel confident, I'll try using this gift. When my boss is more supportive, I'll grow. When my spouse is more cooperative, I'll work on being a better partner. And we can wait our whole lives for a win that never comes. I've been given a gift. It may not look like much, but it's mine. It's all I have. It was given to me. The master's coming back. He's going to settle up with all the CEOs, the presidents, the prime ministers, the network anchors, the mothers, and the fathers, the plumbers, the teachers, and you and me. And he will ask, what did you do with what I gave you? What did you do? You know what I always think about, saints of God? I think about this morning when I woke up in prayer. This is the awesome thing for you to think about. I just want you to really think about this. You all know a lot of people who they've done great in the business world or became CEOs. I happen to know of just a few of them. I don't know a lot, but I love reading about people. But I know a few CEOs, people who've done good. And one of the men that I know, his name is called Dave Stewart. He's from back in St. Louis. Dave Stewart, if you ever want to look it up, his company is called Worldwide Technologies. And this guy, he has a computer company. And I think back in 2010 when I last, if I haven't read up on him lately, I think his company did like $7 billion in 2010. Now, I'm pretty sure they're doing much bigger now. But the thing what I'm trying to say is, sometimes, and he said this, sometimes right here in this room, I'm going to speak to you all, you don't realize what's on the inside of you. He said, nobody would have ever thought that in me, or he said, in me, that I was able to run $1 billion company. He said, no one ever thought that. No one ever thought that I could be a guy who could run $1 billion company. I'm over this many people. I got all these people. My company is going global. He's over the world doing his computers and stuff. He said, nobody ever realized that. He said, but you know what? I knew it was in me. He said, nobody wants to talk about it in the beginning when we had cars repossessed and businesses didn't work and we would get laughed at. And he said, my wife, we barely trying to find food for the kids to eat. Nobody remembers them days. The only thing they look at is where we are now. He said, but the thing about it, I was that guy sitting in church just like you all were. I'm the same guy. He said, and you know what? All of that gift that you see now and say, well, he was made, he was just brought up in a family and just made for this type of thing. He said, no, I wasn't raised up in a certain type of family just like yours. But the thing was, the gifts that God put in me, I knew that I was able to have. Who would ever thought that a little kid like me, he said, could handle this type of business? Who would ever thought it? Who would ever thought that this is what I could do? And I'm telling you, for each and every one of us today, we sit up here in church and we act like, that's just pastor. He's just pastor. He lives in Allen. That's just Brother Ira and them. They live around town here. It's just my sisters, my brother back here. It's just Brother Sean. He just keyboard player. Ain't no big deal. Not even realizing that maybe this is the next big star we're looking at TV next year.
That's right.
These are people whose companies that they can start up and become $1 million companies. And we sit here and take it like what's in us is nothing. We're not those people on TV. We're not the big people who have companies. They all started just like us. That thing can happen just like that. Just like that. Creative ideas can be flowing out of you right now. The talent that God has given us. And we take it so lightly, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. My singing, that I get up and I praise, it's nothing. It is something. Who knows where God is going to take whatever you're doing, what level He's just going to shoot that thing off to. Regular people just like us. Just like us. And it was always there. That's what I'm trying to get at. It was always there. It's there inside of us. It was always there. We just sometimes never unearthed that thing. Never broke up that ground and polished that thing and went through the work and got over the fear and jumped the hurdles and got out the boat. We never did that and never realized what was always there. Oh, that just brings chills to my body when I think about it. Because I was like, man, when I used to see talk to Brother Stewart, this guy looks just like us. You walk, you think, oh, this billion. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Sitting in church years ago, just like everybody else. Always there. It was always there. Always there. Always there. I never forget, I used to go to Jake's conferences. He had a little church back in West Virginia. Started out with 9 members. Y'all think it ain't no big deal? Stuff took off. Worldwide ministry now. That's Jake, the guy from West Virginia back there? Is that the guy? The little storefront? Is that him? That's what people back there saying. Is that the Jakes who? Is that him? Oh, we look at him now as Jakes. Some people look, it's just that guy. Theodore from back in West Virginia had that little storefront. But it was always there. That's what I'm saying. It was there. The gift was there. Always. Somehow they got out the boat, jumped some hurdles, got over the fears, and woof, God just blew that thing up. And that's what I'm trying to tell us today. Don't ever lose that. That is not me. It is you. It is you. You just got to work what you got. Amen. Amen, church. Somebody going to receive that today. I don't know who, but that's always good stuff to me. And I'm one of them. I'm that one too. I'm sitting here just like y'all. And I know what God's going to do. Amen. I believe it by faith. Y'all don't have to believe it with me. I'm believing it. And God's going to do that thing. And I'm going to be like, woo, Lord, because I know it's there. I know it's there. Amen. Here we go. He's the Lord of the settled account. I already read that already. Let's go over to page 42, because this is a lot. He's doing a lot of comparisons. And this is the thing I want to go to, the comparison. A comparison. A comparison. I find it intriguing that the man who buried on page 42, that the man who buried his talent is the man who received 1 talent. I wonder if comparing his 1 talent with the multiple talents of the other servants made him feel inadequate or insignificant. I wonder if he felt angry toward the other servants, or perhaps even toward the master. Maybe burying his talent was a passive way of getting even with the master. Like giving him more. I think that's funny, because that's how we think. I'm going to bury my talent because he didn't give me more. It's not even about that. It's not about that. It's not about the 5. It's not about the 2. It's about what are you doing with what God gave you. Yes. He's not going to come back and ask and say, what do you think about what Brother Mike done with his talent? I don't care about what he done with his talent. I don't do this about because I'm like my dad. Once I get older, I'd be like, Dad, I'm getting in trouble. What about what my brother's done? I don't care about what they done. I'm going to whip your butt for what you done. That's what he's telling me. I'm getting on you for you, Dad. And go to school and get disciplined. And Mike's talking in class. I say, Dad, it wasn't just me talking. It was all these other kids talking. I don't care about them other kids. I want to know what you were doing. I'm your daddy. I'm getting on you for what you were supposed to do. The master's saying the same thing to us. I don't care about what everybody else. I don't care about all the talents and gifts that they had. Don't come bring it up to me about Sister Ray. Don't bring up their names to me. Don't do that, because we always want to compare ourselves. Well, he ain't doing this, and she ain't doing so. I ain't got to. No. Don't come to me with that junk. I'm talking like God. But anyway, don't come to me with that stuff. What are you doing with what I gave you? That's what I want to know. What are you doing with what I gave you? Are you being faithful with it? Or you buried it? Because then after that, I'm going to judge you. And you can't be comparing yourself with somebody else. As a matter of fact, that's not even a good thing to do. You all know that from the Bible, don't you? It's not good that we compare ourselves with others. No. You can't do that. Don't you compare yourself with other people. It's not a good thing to do. Because you're always going to lose. I'll tell you that first of all. Because we only man. We only flesh, y'all. We sin. We mess up. How can I compare myself to another man that's just as filthy as I am? So he look good in this way, but he might struggle in another way. So he's just a man. She's just a woman. I mean, you can't do that. You can't compare yourself. We can all help each other, but we can't compare ourselves. Amen? Amen. This is this whole chapter is talking about comparison. Don't compare yourself to other people. Amen? And that's what it's a lot in that chapter. Oh, man, it's really, the whole aspect of the story was, you cannot compare yourself. That's not wise. Then, go to page 47. Because I'm skipping through this, because there's a lot of reading in there about comparison. And I know you all done the reading. But it says, page 47, which way are you following? I want to ask you to exercise your imagination for a moment. Imagine that your life is over and you are led to a small room. There are 2 chairs in the room, one for you and one for God. Who gets a very large chair? And maybe there's a VCR. God puts in a tape into the machine. Boy, that's really old. VCR. Okay, DVD. He puts a DVD in there. It has your name on it, and it is labeled, What Might Have Been. Imagine watching all that God might have done with your life if you had let him. Imagine seeing what he might have done with your financial resources if you had trusted him to be generous. Imagine seeing what he might have done with your giftedness if you had trusted him enough to be daring. Imagine what he might have done in your relationships if you had trusted him enough to be fully truthful and fully loving. Imagine what he might have done with your character if you had dared to confess sin, acknowledge temptation, and pursue growth. I don't know what God will make of any of us, watch a video like that. I do know that if I think too much about how far I fall short of what might have been, it can become defeating. And that unrealized potential can become a club I beat myself over the head with. But I also know that I want my life to come as close as I can to realizing the goodness God intended for me. I know this is my only chance, and I know I want to minimize the gap between what shall be and what might have been as much as I can. I know that as long as I'm living, it's not too late. That's it. As long as you're living, it ain't too late.
That's right.
It ain't too late. Right now, all the funerals, I know, like you go to the funerals, you always hear preachers always talk about, in every funerals I go to, they always talk about, on every tombstone, they got a beginning date, and then there's an ending date. Right. And then they always say, but you know what's in the middle? They got this little dash. And you know what? You're living in the dash right now. That's what you are. That's what you're doing. You living in the. It's still the time to still write. You still write your obituary, really? You still writing it right now? Because life ain't over yet. It ain't over. Your ending date ain't there yet. You're still in the dash part of your life. So don't think that it's. Some people, well, it's over with now. It ain't over yet. There's a lot of people that's still doing great things in their 70s and 80s. I mean, it ain't over. Life ain't over.
That's right.
Life ain't over to that very last breath. You're still in the dash. Amen?
Amen.
And that's what you got to keep living. As long as there's breath in your body, there's time for change. There's time to still do something great. Amen? You can be doing that in your children's children. And, investing in them and putting in time and loving them. And, oh, man, it's just so much. He is also the Lord of the reward. This is one last truth about the Master Jesus wants us to understand. The Lord of the gift and the Lord of the settled account is also the Lord of the reward. He has wonderful things in store for those who steward his treasure wisely. Some aspects of what the Master says are pretty much what we would expect. Well done, good and faithful servant. Imagine receiving this condemnation from God. He also invites the servant to enter into the Master's happiness. This is some serious joy. But there is a surprise here as well. The Master doesn't say, now you can float on the lovely, fluffy clouds and live in the very nice condo with lots of upgrades and sing in the choir that will sing the same songs for the 100 billion years. Instead, he says, you have been trustworthy in a few things. Now I will put you in charge over many. For being faithful with the few things. Ain't that something? You see how that contrast? The little that he gave us. For being faithful over the little that he gave us, you're going to be blessed with the many. Because now I can trust you in the few. Now I'm going to give you the many. I'm giving you everything because you were faithful over the little things that I gave you. The 1, the 2, the 5 talents. God, Jesus is bringing that story all around. Because you were faithful with that, hey, I'm going to just unleash it now. The blessings are going to be upon you now. You know, well done, that good and faithful servant. Well, that would sound great to hear that from God. You know, one thing I used to always love to hear my dad, and I know some people didn't grow up with a dad,